Hi everyone, my name is Brandon and I work here at Anti-Aging Medical and Laser Clinic as the social media and community coordinator. Today I'm so excited because I have a very special guest, Miss Jordan Claire Robbins. For those who may be not familiar, Jordan is a powerhouse in the entertainment industry.
Thank you.
You act, you model, and I just learned that you produce as well, which I think is so cool.
Yeah, I've dipped my toe in producing. I definitely want to do a lot more.
Yeah, I was taking a look at your resume this morning. It was so extensive, supernatural, iZombie, but I feel like maybe people will know you best from your role as Grace on the Umbrella Academy, which is such a fantastic show.
Thank you.
So we're gonna sit down and chat. I'm so excited. I think we're just gonna dive straight into it.
Cool.
So Jordan, because you work in the entertainment industry, you are like constantly in front of the camera. I feel like you probably experience like a certain amount of pressure to maybe like look and feel your best. So maybe just like talk about that and touch on that a little bit, and maybe how you came to learn about our clinic.
Yeah, so I have struggled with acne since I was like 13 years old. And then I got into modeling and right away it was like, oh, this is gonna be a very stressful situation for me. There's no worse feeling than showing up and being like, hey, sorry, I can't control this, but I don't really feel my best. And then when I got into acting, it was kind of a similar thing where, you know, obviously makeup is great, but nothing will ever replace feeling like you have clear, healthy skin, especially when you're on camera and they can't always edit it out. And so it was definitely something I realized I needed to find a solution for. And then when I started doing different treatments, the medical spas, like laser treatments and that kind of thing, it made a huge, huge, huge difference. And since then, I have never stopped doing them because I found it to be the most effective thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you started experiencing like breakouts and maybe it sounds like a little bit of hormonal acne when you were 13 years old. But when did you start actually going to medical clinics to start doing laser treatments? Because I know that those can be quite intensive.
Yeah.
And here at our clinic, if you're under the age of 18, you definitely need to have parental consent. So did you start exploring those treatments?
No, I started, you're absolutely right. So I grew up in Bermuda where I don't even know if that, I didn't grow up knowing that it was an option to have any treatments like the laser treatments or medical treatments at all. So I didn't explore that until I left Bermuda when I was 18, moved to Toronto for university, and then I started doing those treatments. And probably around 1920 was where I started to do them regularly and saw some results.
Nice, and you saw really good results from those?
Yeah, definitely when I was doing them regularly. Like it was not something I could kind of do just once and it's a one-time fix.
Consistency definitely is key, and we always preach here at Anti-Aging about combination treatments as well. We find that those are really effective and the best way to really achieve the best results. So when you were 19 and 20, what treatments did you start off with then?
I really liked microdermabrasion, just because I felt like it just cleaned out any of the like gunk. Obviously when you're modeling and then acting, a lot of makeup, and so you know it gets trapped in those pores. And then also like exactly, and then it looks dull too. Like that was the biggest thing I noticed when I started doing microdermabrasion was like, oh, my skin looks a lot brighter. Like not only does it get clearer, but it just overall looks more even. So I started to try out those, and then I was doing IPL, like the laser treatment. Sometimes I would kind of alternate the two of those.
Yeah, IPL stands for intense pulse light for anyone that might not be familiar with the terminology, but it's a really great treatment. And I think that you've actually done IPL here as well a couple of times.
I have,
And you've seen good results with that.
Yeah, I love that treatment because my skin is very, like I have Irish background and I'm so red. It doesn't take much to make my skin red, and so anything that kind of can even out that coloring makes me feel so much better when I'm not wearing makeup, because I don't, you know, who wants to be putting on makeup every day and feeling like that's the only way.
My mom is Scottish and Irish as well. She suffers from the same things too. So when did you end up moving to Vancouver then? So
I moved to Vancouver about 5 years ago. I think I was around 26 years old. Yeah, that makes sense math-wise. I moved, I was really enjoying Toronto. I'd gone to university there, but when I graduated, I just felt like ready for a change. And so I checked out Vancouver, fell in love with it, and haven't gone back since. Well, I go back all the time to shoot, but I'm very much enjoying living in Vancouver.
Oh, good. Speaking about shooting, you have such a busy schedule. I feel like you're always traveling, always working, and when you're filming your TV show, I know that you spend crazy amounts of hours on set, and the makeup, especially on your show, the Umbrella Academy is very heavy too because it's more
Yeah.
period piece, right?
Yeah.
So how do you juggle, you know, sticking and following a strict skincare regime when your schedule is so busy? Because I know that's something that a lot of people come in here complaining about, like not being able to follow a routine and being strict with like regimen because of how busy they are.
Yeah, well, I think because I struggled with acne and skin issues from such a young age, I learned really early on that I couldn't cut corners. It's really like I will never, ever, ever go to bed without washing my face.
Good for you.
I will never skimp out on skincare products. Like if I, you know, find deals everywhere else, that's great, but this is sort of the one area where I don't care what it costs. It's really important. I mean, some people, you know what, my fiance, like he could probably wash his face with a bar of $2 soap and he'd be fine. And I hate him for it. I'm kidding. I'm great. I'm happy for him. But I could never do that. Like it's really, if I try a new product that isn't high end, I'll see a difference right away.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Exactly like you. Before I started working here, I never really touched medical grade products. I definitely used drugstore skincare. But then when I started working here and was, you know, this whole world of medical grade skincare fell into my lap, I truly have noticed a difference. And the one thing that I've said is no matter how long I work in this industry, I know that I'm always going to go back to this stuff.
Yeah.
What skincare from our clinic have you tried or are you currently using?
Yeah, so I love SkinCeuticals and I love Zoe.
Same.
Those are the kind of the two that I alternate, and what's the other one? So Skin Medica.
Skin Medica.
Yeah, Skin Medica I really like as well.
Yeah, those are three really good ones. What products are you using?
I love the triple lipid cream.
Everyone does.
Yeah, and then I love the Power Defense by that's Zoe, right? Daily Power Defense. I kind of alternate the two of those.
Oh, good.
I like to alternate products. Like I find that my skin likes kind of not the same thing all the time, so I'll keep both SkinCeuticals and the Zoe sort of
so
in my rotation.
You say that because I've started using the Zoe anti-aging kit and it's been doing wonders for my skin. But I honestly just recently read a study that said if you just use the same program AM and PM over and over and over again, your skin's going to start to become accustomed to
plateaus.
it. And plateaus, and the efficacy of the product is going to go down. So that's so funny that you say you like to mix it up. That's a really good point that people should know.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that there's actually a medical basis for that, because I feel like I'm very intuitive. I'm like, what does my skin need today? And I feel like alternating. I just kind of see what I feel like I want to do that day. But yeah, I mean, they're all such great products that that's the other reason is like I don't want to just do one. Like I love all of them so much.
Yeah. So how does I'm curious to know how your skincare routine differs from the AM to the PM. If at all.
So I'm really bad. I actually don't like to wash my face in the mornings because I find that my skin gets so red and reactive that I almost just like to let it settle. It's so calm after sleeping. But I know a lot of people say you should wash your face in the morning.
What's your skin type? Oily, dry, combo?
Kind of, if anything, a little bit dry. Definitely not oily.
Like me. I'm a little bit dry too, and I think it's okay and you can get away with only washing your face once a day because when your skin already is so dry, washing it
the oils.
strips it of the oil, which can be harmful to do multiple times a day for someone who has dry skin. So that's actually okay. But
Good.
yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if you've ever taken advantage of our clinic. It actually offers free skincare consultations as well.
Ooh, I haven't done that.
15-minute or 30-minute skincare consultations with one of our experts. So I always recommend that if someone doesn't know where to start or they feel intimidated,
that's great.
Yeah, you can sign up for a free consultation. You can find that on our website or through the link in our Instagram bio.
Cool.
So you moved here 5 years ago, and then how did you stumble across our clinic?
So I spend a lot of time in kits. I love kits, and I walked by here a few times, and then actually my cousin, who I had been living with at the time, he came in for, I think it was a hydrofacial, and he just raved about it. And then I think he also got his tattoo removed. He had a really hideous finger tattoo.
Gosh. Yes, we do.
And so he was very excited to get that removed and very, very effective. And so he just couldn't say enough good things. And I was like, okay, I need to check this place out.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
It makes me so happy.
And then once I started coming in and I got to know everybody and I started the treatments, it just was like very easy, no-brainer.
No-brainer?
Yeah.
I think that's another really important thing too. When it comes to cosmetic or aesthetic treatments, it's really important that you find a clinic that really works for you and you have a doctor, esthetician, or nurse that really like understands your needs and your goals and can help you achieve them.
Yeah.
So maybe you want to talk a little bit about maybe who you've worked with here, what treatments you did, and then the results that you've seen.
Sure, yeah. So I mean, I love all the nurses and all the people that work here. I have been seeing Isabella a lot and Janice a lot. So those are kind of my two go-tos.
Your two girls.
Yeah, and I totally couldn't agree more. It's just such a it's almost a vulnerable thing when you're putting your skin in someone's hands. And it can, yeah, you know, especially if you have struggled for years with skin issues. It's like it's a really big decision to put that in someone's hands and trust them. So
yeah, not to mention it can be a really big investment as well.
Oh yeah,
make sure that you're in the greatest hands so that you're
getting your worth. Yeah.
It really is an investment.
It is for sure, and so that was really nice to find, you know, people that I felt very safe with. But I actually did microneedling for the first time here. That was one of the first treatments I did, and I absolutely loved it. I was a little afraid just because obviously it seems really dramatic, and I'd heard it's one of the more invasive ones, but it actually wasn't that invasive. And that's what surprised me is I had this idea that it would be like this huge downtime, and my skin's a little red, but even a couple days later, unless you're looking for it, you can't even see a difference. And then I was really happy with how clear my skin was. It helped with the texture. I have scarring, and that was sort of the main reason I decided to do it. But it helped a lot with breakouts, a lot. I did a series of 3, and I was like, oh my God, I haven't had a zit in a while. And that's huge for me, to not have any breakout at all. I was like, this is very noticeable.
Yeah, microneedling is a great treatment that we offer here. Like you said, it is a little bit one of our more invasive treatments. Most of the treatments that we offer here are non-invasive. But for those of you who aren't familiar, microneedling stamps 50 small needles just onto the surface of your skin. They only get injected a very short amount, just millimeters we're talking here. And the great thing about our Infinity microneedling machine is that it actually has RF in it, which is radio frequency. And radio frequency is a technology that contributes to the strengthening and tightening of the skin as well. So Infinity microneedling we always recommend for people who acne scarring, any kind of scarring, stretch marks, lack of skin laxity. So it sounds like those were some of the concerns that you had, and they were resolved.
Yeah, I mean the scarring, I think it's, a few of them were quite deep or pronounced. So, I've just been told you need to be consistent with it. I probably did 3 or 4 in a row, and they have improved, but I would like to do some more.
We typically see people coming in between 1 to 6 treatments for microneedling. Of course, it's case dependent and what your concerns are. So you did 3 weeks. People come in for 6.
Well, I think some of the smaller scars for sure, kind of I don't even notice them anymore, and so obviously they're not really there. There's a couple spots that are way better, but to fully get rid of them, I think I probably, like you said, 2 or 3 more.
Yeah. And I mean, the other good thing about microneedling too is that the downtime is pretty minimal. I think they say normally 1 or 2 days, but for someone like you, when your schedule is so busy and you're filming a lot and you're on camera, you can't really afford to have downtime for much longer than that. For
sure, and also just the unpredictability of my schedule too. I could get a call and be like, hey, you have to get on a plane tomorrow, and it's I can't, it feels scary to, commit to something where I might look red or whatever for 3 or 4 days. It's scary because I could get a call, whether it's an audition or going on set or whatever. So that's what I really liked about that treatment is that if I even needed to go somewhere the same day, I could put makeup on. It wasn't so bad that I couldn't hide it if I need to.
What, a little bit of redness?
Yeah, it's a little bit of redness, a little bit of texture. If you were to look closely at it, you would probably notice, just a little bit of the indentations, and then it stimulates the collagen, and then about a week later, it's oh my God, my skin looks unbelievable. Best feeling ever.
Happy. And then you recently came in for a hydrofacial as well.
I love the hydrofacial.
Yeah, she did the platinum hydrofacial, which is the highest level hydrofacial that we offer. It's about a 45-minute to an hour treatment. It's really good. You said that you have dry skin. I mean, hydrofacial, I think it says it in the name, Hydra. It's super hydrating. We infuse different vitamins, peptides, serums into your skin, and the other really great thing about it too is that the treatment is fully customizable. So I think that when you came in, you did the glucomannan booster, which is really good for people who have dry skin. So I know that you broke out a little bit after it, but hopefully it subsided. And with hydrofacial too, the key really is consistency. We always recommend that people come in once a month, every 30 days to just maintain and upkeep. And the more that you do it, I feel like the more that your skin's gonna get used to it and the less breakouts that you're gonna have.
For sure, and I think that I'm never really scared when there's a breakout right after, because it makes sense to me that you're sucking things up, you're purging, yeah. And I like that's really satisfying to me, as much as it's like, oh shit, I just got a facial, I want my skin to be amazing right away. Sometimes it does take like a week or so, and then the results are so good. Yeah, you kind of just have to like get through it, but it's so worth it, I think, just to, you know, long term have clearer skin.
Long term, and that's the other thing too. I think it's you started like really taking care and looking after your skin at a really good age. I know I speak to my parents, and my parents are like, you guys are so young, you don't need to be doing treatments. And I'm like, no, mom, like a lot of this is like preventative.
Yeah,
you don't understand.
I know.
I'm gonna do a little bit now, so in the long run, I don't have to do more in the future.
Yeah.
So I think it's always better. And I know a lot of the doctors and nurses here always recommend starting earlier and slower, as opposed to having to go in when you're later and like do a lot of fixing. So it's good that you're taking really good care of your skin now too. And you grew up and lived in Bermuda. I'm just curious to know what your SPF regimen was when you were there, because I know that I was so bad.
I was bad.
Sunscreen when I was younger.
I was bad.
I'm really hoping that I don't have to pay the price.
I know, me too, me too.
But I'm sure that you're on a really good.
Yeah, now I am, and I think that's the, you know, when you're young, you're just like so cocky, and you're like, whatever, I don't need it. I resisted my paleness hard. I was like, no, I'm gonna tan, and yeah, well, that's the thing, right? Like when I was going to school, all the girls that I was in school with would put like baby oil on and stuff. Like, it was not good.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I know that's a no-no now. And now I'm just like, you know, if I want some color, I just put on self-tanner. Like, it's just not worth the baking in the sun, you know?
Or even a lot of SPFs now have tint in them too.
Yeah,
we have some really good ones. Color Science has a Flex SPF that actually mimics your own skin tone and color.
Amazing.
So
I haven't tried that. Let's give that a try.
Honestly, I'll send you home with it.
Yeah, I would love to try that. Yeah, I could wear it in Bermuda next week.
Absolutely, and it's super lightweight too, and it gives you enough coverage that honestly you don't even need to wear foundation or makeup. Or a lot of the girls say they don't like to wear makeup over top of it because it blends so seamlessly and nice.
Wow.
So yeah, you definitely need to get on that one too.
I would love that,
and SkinCeuticals has a tinted moisturizer as well, and so does Zoe.
Okay.
So, and there's lots of good options nowadays. The
Yeah.
SPF doesn't have to be, it was such a like nuisance and hassle for me. When
Right? I know. And nowadays, you're right, there's so many great options, and it's like, you don't have to worry about, because for me it was always, well, if I wear sunscreen, then I'm going to break out. And, you know, I didn't want to break out more, and so I would avoid it. And
that's what my best friend still says to say. I don't want to wear sunscreen, so I'm going to break out. I'm like, you just need to find one that's
well, and it's true. I mean, there's so many amazing, you know, like you look at SkinCeuticals and Zoe and all of these amazing companies that are like, they're designed to keep you from breaking out. So, you know, we're really fortunate now.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Jordan, so I'm curious to know, you travel so much for work, you've lived in different countries. How do you maintain the integrity of your skin when you're constantly in different environments? Because I know that can be pretty harmful. For
sure, yeah, especially travel, obviously so drying, and then like, you know, the Toronto winter, for example, is just like, you know, my hands are cracking and my face is peeling, and it's so many changes. And even just the adjustment period, I feel like that happens even when you go on vacation or you go to a warm climate, like when I go back to Bermuda. So I think I try to be really intuitive and listen about what my skin needs, but I'm really grateful for my skincare routine and all of my products, because I know that they work. And then I really love, like, you know, the hydrofacial, for example. I like to try to do a treatment before I travel, just because then everything's really clear and open, and, you know, it goes hand in hand. You need to wear less makeup when your skin is exactly. Yeah, and it's one of those things, when you're wearing more makeup, your skin breaks out more, then you want to wear more makeup to cover it, and then it's just this vicious cycle. Yeah, so I think just listening to my skin, drinking a lot of water. I carry, you noticed when I showed up today, a gallon water bottle with me, and it's the biggest icebreaker and totally embarrassing. However, I will say, when I took it on set, everyone made fun of me, and then the next week, everyone had one. So I am a trendsetter.
You are.
Stay hydrated, #. Yeah, so drinking water, taking good care of my skin. I definitely notice a difference when I eat well or don't eat well. But the treatments before and after, like bookends my trips, I think is really effective too.
Good, and probably combination treatments as well.
Yeah, for sure.
That's something you take advantage of.
Yeah, I like to alternate. Like, I really, you know, they're also beneficial. I love the hydrofacial, I love the microneedling, I love like the IPL, the BBL. I really like so far.
And then of course in conjunction with good skincare too.
Yeah, like it all just goes hand in hand. Like there's not just one thing that will be the the one-stop shop. I think it's, you know, I notice that my skin is the happiest when I'm consistently mixing up the treatments, just like I like to mix up the skincare, just because you're, you know, hitting it from every angle.
Yeah, very good. And so maybe if we could end off on one thing, like we talked about earlier, coming in for someone's very first treatment, it can definitely be something that's very daunting.
Yeah.
If you could leave them with one piece of advice for someone who's maybe on the fence about coming in for the treatment, what would you say that would be?
Well, first of all, it has helped me so much. I just have had so many points in my life where I've been so frustrated. I know that I'm not alone. A lot of people have felt this way. You know, going to school, there's no worse feeling than, you know, how's the light in here? Oh no, you know, everyone can see that I'm breaking out. It's just, it's the worst feeling. So I would say just, you know, trust the process, trust that it does work. And also what you said earlier about just getting to know the people involved and finding your people that make you feel safe, and consultations, because there isn't one course of treatment that's perfect for everyone. I think once you've, you know, found the right person, found the right place, I love it here, and you discuss what's best for your skin, then you're in really good hands and you can figure out some great steps that'll get you and your unique skin to your clearest that you can get.
Jordan, thank you so much for coming in and chatting with us. It's always such a pleasure. I hope that you have the best time on your vacation in Bermuda. It is so well deserved.
Thank you.
We always love taking care of you, and we love it when you come in. And if anyone else is interested in coming in, then you can find us on all social media platforms. Our handle is anti-aging-van. You can also give us a call at 604-261-9121 or email us at info@aamvan to book your appointment or consultation.